Welcome to Thought for Shabbat for Friday, February 28th. This week, our Torah portion is known as Truma. The word Truma refers to a gift that the Israelites are asked to bring from the heart in order to help build a traveling sanctuary for God to dwell in. And it's sort of a funny idea. We have so many examples in our tradition where we wonder at why we would build a home for God. Even King Solomon, when he finished the temple in Jerusalem, the first temple in Jerusalem, he said, "But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. How much less this house that I have built?" And the late Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks asked, not only does it seem impossible to build a home for God, it should be unnecessary. The God of everywhere can be accessed anywhere, as readily in the deepest pit as on the highest mountain, in a city slum as in a palace lined with marble and gold. And so we wonder, why does God ask the Israelites to make this traveling sanctuary? Why do we build a temple in Jerusalem? Why do we continue to build synagogues for us to come together in, for God to be a part of our community in? And we also have a midrash that answers this question in one way. And in this midrash, the rabbis imagine that God says, "I asked you to build this sanctuary for me, for you." The idea being that we need these places to gather. They're how we come together. They're how we find God, one of the many ways. There are lots of different ways for us to connect to something greater than ourselves, but for many of us, having this sort of gathering place, and actually not only that, but participating in the process of building that space, can be one of the ways that we can find God. In fact, one of the things that the late Rabbi Lord Sacks adds is that God dwells in the builders. And so even if we're not responsible for building a new sanctuary, there are still ways that we can participate in building up our community. There are ways that we can support one another, ways that we can volunteer, ways that we can build up all that we have in order to find and connect to God in different ways. And so I invite you to think about that this weekend. How can you access God? How can you find a new way to build up your community, to support one another in order to connect to something greater than yourself? Shabbat Shalom, and I hope to see you this evening for One Voice Shabbat. It will be a musical service filled with Camp Ruach. Looking forward to seeing you there. Bye.